Hi, I'm Norbert Michelisz. Welcome to Honda Racing TV.
Welcome to episode 12, where we start with Castrol Honda's Norbert Michelisz in Portugal, before travelling to the UK for a star-studded tribute to the great Mike Hailwood. We join Alberto Forato, a youngster climbing the motocross ladder and making waves in the EMX 250 series. And we catch up with Tiago Monteiro in a time warp comparison of the Honda Civic's touring car. Castrol Honda WTCC star Norbert Michelisz talks love, life and racing. Motorcycle legends come together to celebrate the life and bikes of the great Mike Hailwood. We spend some time with Alberto Forato as he continues his ascent up the European motocross ladder. And Tiago Monteiro gives us the lowdown on how Honda's touring cars have developed over the years. We start this episode with Norbert Michelisz as the Castrol Honda's World Touring Car star balances his 2017 season with just becoming a father.
My racing career started quite late. I came from sim racing. My dream was always to become a racing car driver since childhood. But my parents never really had the financial possibilities to help me with that. So I did sim racing. Through sim racing I had the possibility to test a racing car. That was 2005 on the Hungaroring. The test went quite well, so that made it possible for me to start my racing career. I never would have thought back then that within 2 years I managed to step from Hungarian National Championship single make trophy to WTCC. Okay, it was a one-off in 2008. It was a prize because I collected the most points in the Triathlon Euro Cup at the race in Monza, and the next race was Japan, and they offered me a drive. I remember I was the happiest person, but I never really thought that a full year was possible. In Hungary, a lot of people were interested in motorsports. In 2007 we had a Moto3 world champion, Gábor Talmácsi, so I realized that a lot of people are following him. But to be honest, it was difficult to know during 2010 if people are interested in what I'm doing or not, because okay, Facebook was going, but I didn't really have a profile, so I was invited to interviews, but I couldn't have guessed how many followers I have. The first moment was 2011, the first race on the Hungaroring for WTCC. Of course, racing for a Hungarian team, Zenger Motorsport, having a Hungarian driver, it was something special, something national for the audience. And we realized back then that having 60–70,000 people on the grandstands cheering for us, that's something special. So from that moment, everything started to explode. It's nice because every year since then, it's a memory for lifetime for me, racing at home, realizing the amount of support I have from the people in Hungary. To become a world champion, or to be close to have the chance to become world champion, you need to have some kind of works support. I remember the negotiations at the end of 2012. I really was pushing because Honda, for me, I remember the Formula 1 races with Ayrton Senna. I remember the race 2006 on the Hungaroring where Jensen won. So the brand was really close to me, and having the chance to race for them was something special. But yeah, it was something different to race with Honda for Zenger Motorsport and then 2 years later to become a works driver, because to be successful from race to race, you need to have a team like Honda behind you with all the support, all the professionalism they have. You can see on the results this year that we got to a level where from race to race you can consider yourself as not only a podium finisher but a race winner as well. 2017 was the most intense year for me so far. I have to tell you that at one point I wasn't really sure if I can manage all these things with setting up a racing team, having the pressure of the chance of the World Championship in WTCC, setting up a simulator company, and most importantly having a baby girl born in 31st of March. So many things around me changing. I realized that I also changed as a person. The most difficult part is not being home enough time with my family, with Johanna, with Mira. It's a bit sad in some moments because also now I miss them a lot. But I really need to focus on important stuff outside family. And if I manage this right, in some time I will have enough time for them as well. I try to be efficient on my time schedule. I know that after the race here in Portugal, I will have a bit more than a week back home. I really want to again collect some energy to spend all of my time with them, and then maybe having the possibility of taking them to some races as well. I would like to be successful in WTCC. It is a championship I love. I'm part of this since 7 years now. I want to achieve my goal, which was to win the World Championship since 2010.
June 1961, and a certain Mike Hailwood took his first TT victory. What followed cemented his legend. So it's only fitting that names like John McGuinness, Stuart Graham, Freddie Spencer, together with an impressive display of Honda machines, including the Ferocious 6, got together to pay tribute to Mike the Bike. All this at the UK's Castle Combe circuit. He was one of the greatest. No one thinks of bike racing still today without thinking of Mike the Bike. 9 World Championships, 14 TT wins, and the first rider to win 3 in a week back in 1961. He returned after a 10-year break to take another 2 wins in 1978. And if that wasn't enough, he also raced in 50 Formula One Grand Prix and took 2 podiums, and received the George Medal for Gallantry in one of those in South Africa in 1973.
Everything is measured against Mike Hailwood. The more time passes, the more stories I learn about Mike Hailwood, about what he did, about him winning a race and then swapping his bike with the lads that finished 21st in that same race and then going out and still winning the race. It just, yeah, he's just an amazing bloke. And an amazing bloke.
Here at Castle Combe is a classic event. It's something that I love doing. So to do this one is, of course, extra special. A couple of reasons. One is Mike Hailwood and the fact that he rode for Honda and came close to winning the 500 championship for them in '67. Mike was an inspiration, and I always admired his reputation, his ability to ride many different type bikes, and that ability and the way he went about it. And so, you know, for Pauline and the family, it's a privilege to be here and to honor that.
I was asked to come along today because, of course, this celebrates the great Mike Hailwood. And I joined Honda in 1966. To be drafted into the Honda team was, of course, a dream come true without a question. But to be teammate to Mike Hailwood, who was the absolutely ultimate rider. Mike was wonderful. He was a great guy. We became really good pals over the years. and yeah, but he was so quick that it was hard work keeping up, that's for sure.
Where to start with Mike Hailwood? I mean, what a special guy. I mean, it's funny, it's like, I'm 45, but sort of my dad, 65-year-old, it's their generation, and the stories you get told about those old riders, and especially Mike Hailwood, are really, really special. Some of his wins at the TT, some of his World Championships, some of the bikes he's ridden, and, you know, some of the iconic stuff that everybody loves now. And, you know, I've won 23 TTs. I remember getting to 14 wins, and that's what Mike had. And I've met sort of all of the TT greats, but I just wish Mike was there when I won my 14th in 2008. Just have a bit of a chin wag with him, you know. Never heard a bad word said about the man. A hard, fair champion, and you know, it's a shame I didn't meet him, but his legend still carries on.
I got a couple of laps in and I thought, right, we need to start selling kidneys. We need to start, I need one of them. That's
Alberto Forato is a name you may not recognise yet. The Italian kick-started his career in the 2013 Honda 150 European Championship. Now he's a front-runner for the hotly contested EMX 250 series with the Asamoto Honda Red Moto team. So, as the youngster bids for motocross stardom, let's hear from the Honda protege himself.
Hi guys, I'm Alberto Forato and I ride for Motor Honda in EMX 250.
Alberto Forato is a joy for me to watch. I first met him in the year 2013, the very first year we had the Honda 150 Championship.
Yeah, in 2013 I was riding 150 Championship with the Honda. I think it was a good experience and ride with the guys who they do the World Championship and in the same track, and yeah, it's a good experience.
We always give every rider in the 150 Championship the same opportunities. It's a very equal series for everyone. There's no individual schooling for anyone, and they all have equal bikes and equal opportunity to learn the same. So it's wonderful that he's got the ability to learn, and with that, the sky's the limit for him.
I rode with Motor from last year. 1 year before I ride in 125 after 150, and now I'm here and yeah, I'm happy.
Back then, if you had told me in 2013 that Alberto was going to be standing on a podium at an EMX race 4 years later, I wouldn't have believed you. But he certainly has developed some fantastic skills and shown some brilliant attitude, and I think he's got a lot of potential to move to the front of EMX consistently and then onwards into MX2 and beyond. So he's a wonderful example of the reason why we do the 150 Championship, and he should be a great inspiration for the other boys that are riding in the series at the moment.
What a difference a decade or two can make. In racing, even a second can seem like a lifetime, so imagine what a difference 25 years could make. Over to our resident expert now, Tiago Monteiro, who knows a thing or two about touring cars, as we go from the 1990s to the present day with the Honda Civic.
Hi, I'm Tiago Monteiro and I'm here today to show you the differences between this fantastic 1989 Honda Civic EF and my race car, the Honda Civic from the WTCC. A lot of technology has changed between those two cars. Let's have a look. So let's start from the front. Obviously we have a very stock car here with some air intakes and very basic front on the Civic at the time. In our car there's a lot more work to it, with a lot of downforce, a lot of aerodynamics, with a front splitter, underfloor, a lot of air intake, but also a lot of small adaptation of the design in order to create even more downforce. A lot of wind tunnel hours here. Under the hood we have a standard 1.6 liter engine, 4-cylinder, but it's been tuned to reach 8,300 RPM. Quite impressive actually. And we have here on my car the same base basically. We have a 1.6 liter engine as well, but it's a turbo aspirated engine, and it's a HRD design engine maintained and prepared by Mugen, and they've managed to squeeze out 380 horsepower, a little bit less RPM than this one. We reach around 7,500 RPM. Coming back to the front of the car, and of course the most important part, this is what connects us to the ground and gives us the grip. And we have here on this one 15 inches wheels with XYZ brakes, as well as XYZ dampers. And behind that we have Tegua arms. So this is it for the front of the Civic car. So coming out to my racing car, again, a lot of technology and a lot of evolution. And as you can visually see, we have bigger rims. We have 18 inches rims now on this one. So we have behind the wheel, we have some Extreme Racing shock absorbers, McPherson struts, and especially we have some special bespoke made AP Racing brakes, which create an amazing braking performance. This is one of the biggest evolutions in racing, is the power of the braking. So going back to the rear now, as you can see, not much going on here. Basically a very small spoiler. It's not going to help you a lot, but maybe a little bit more stability. No on the floor, so again, a very stock car, very basic, yeah, but good stability. Let's have a look at mine. Now, when you look at the more modern Civic, obviously a lot more going on here. We still have the small spoiler here, but of course a very big wing creates a lot of downforce to squeeze you down to the ground and gives a much better stability. Obviously this is also helped by the extractor, by the underfloor that comes from the front splitter all the way back to the rear. So there's a lot of effort. Part of the technology has been put into creating a more downforce and more aerodynamic cars. Well, the inside as well is very not basic, but very archaic, I would say, but still very nice and racy. I mean, we still have a manual gearbox with 5 gears, but with a very short final drive. So you have to use the clutch all the way. We only use our clutch to start. So it's still very active and very manual. No buttons on the steering wheel, so just focus on the driving. It's the proper essence of driving. Obviously a very strong and very good roll bar, actually, very well done, and which brings the car seems quite light and brings the total weight, including the driver, to 1,025 kilos. So it's really down to the pure essence of driving. I love it. Well, now in my cockpit, my office, well, the main difference is basically, well, the first big difference is especially the sitting position. I'm very low, very backwards. This is for many reasons. First, the security in the car in case of impact, but also to try and get the best balance possible. The driver is a heavy weight in the car. We have to try and be as low as possible and as center as possible. But of course, then you can see a lot of electronics, a lot of controls, also for the FIA to control us, but to see what we're doing. My steering wheel, very busy with many buttons, many options. There's a lot of things we can use to try to improve the performance. Of course, a sequential gearbox, so I only use my clutch to start in first gear, and after that, that's it. Only left foot brake, right foot on the gas. You know, I mean, it's just a lot of more technology and optimizing the performance of everything. When you look at the roll bar, it's pretty similar. Of course, maybe a little bit thicker, but the spirit is still the same. The car is also a very similar weight now. It's 1,050 more or less. So in the end, it's just a more nervous, more active, more aggressive car, and of course, yes, more performant, but it's, you know, 20 more years of difference between those two. So yeah, different specifics.
Well, that's it, folks, from episode 12. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned for more episodes of Honda Racing TV right here on HondaProRacing.com.